Welcome back, lore lovers, to another deep dive into the myths and legends of the ancient world. I'm Lindrag, and today we are delving into a captivating tale filled with deceit, cunning, and divine trickery, the legend of Odin and the Mead of poetry. Once upon a time, in the age of gods and myths, there arose a being named Kvasir, born from the mingled spittle of the Aesir and the Vanir, after their warring days ended in a truce. Kvasir was not an ordinary man. He embodied the wisdom and poetry of both tribes, possessing a deep understanding of the world and its mysteries. As Kvasir stood before Odin and the assembled gods, he knew them all by name, reciting their titles and the poems that celebrated their deeds. He was a font of knowledge and insight, sought after by gods eager to learn from his boundless wisdom. But peace among gods can be as fleeting as the morning mist. Despite the truth, jealousy and treachery simmered beneath the surface. Two dwarfs named Fjalar and Galar invited Kvasir into their home under false pretenses, luring him with honeyed words. Yet their intentions were dark. These dwarfs, driven by envy and malice, murdered Kvasir in cold blood. They drained his blood into 3 vessels, a cauldron of 2 vats, intending to craft a sinister brew that would grant them Kvasir's wisdom. The dwarfs, in their deceit, created a mead called the Poetic Mead, brewed from the essence of Kvasir's divine wisdom. Anyone who drank this mead would inherit the gift of poetry and inspiration. They heated the concoction in order, adding honey and berries, stirring until the mead of wisdom and poetry bubbled to life. As they tasted the intoxicating brew, laughter erupted from the depths of their newfound inspiration. The following morning, the gods arrived, questioning the dwarfs about Kvasir's disappearance. Fjalar and Galar spun a deceitful tale, claiming Kvasir's demise from an unfortunate accident of choking on his wisdom. They presented Kvasir's lifeless body to the gods, feigning innocence while secretly reveling in their stolen creation. Thus the dwarfs hoarded the poetic mead, granting it sparingly to those they favored. Their selfishness and greed kept the divine elixir locked away from all but themselves. However, fate soon intervened when the dwarfs invited the giant Gilling and his wife to their fortress. Seizing an opportunity, they lured Gilling into a treacherous rowing expedition, leading to his demise in the icy waters. The sinister plot of Fjalar and Galar unfolded with ruthless efficiency as they lured the giant Gilling to his watery demise. With their boat intentionally capsized on hidden rocks, Gilling, unable to swim, succumbed to the merciless seas. Returning home callously, the dwarfs greeted Gilling's grieving wife with faint sympathy, callously revealing her husband's tragic fate. Ignoring her anguished cries, they cruelly mocked her sorrow, claiming her wailing hurt their ears. In a heartless twist, Fjalar and Galar suggested showing the giantess where her beloved Gilling had met his end. Leading her to a fatal spot beneath the fortress wall, they enacted their final betrayal, as Galar dropped a massive stone upon her unsuspecting head, ending her life instantly. They callously disposed of her body in the churning waves. Amidst the cold winds and grey seas, the dwarfs reveled in their perceived cleverness, blind to the darkness of their deeds. Fjalar and Galar's reign of arrogance and deception met its reckoning when Sutung, son of the slain giant Gilling and his wife, sought vengeance for his parents' deaths. Enraged by the dwarfs' boastful tales, Satan captured them, tying them up and placing them in a boat designed for the treacherous rocks where Gilling had met his end. As the tide rose around them, the dwarfs pleaded for mercy, offering compensation in the form of a sacred poetic mead brewed from Kvasir's blood, a rare and coveted treasure. Intrigued by this unique offering, Satan paused, contemplating the potential value of such a prize. Realizing the dwarfs had something truly precious, Satan spared their lives in exchange for the mead and other riches they possessed. Relieved yet humbled, Fjalar and Galar returned to their fortress, recounted their misadventures and narrowly escaped demise to any who would listen. Their tale of woe spread through the realms, a cautionary reminder of the consequences of hubris and deceit. Meanwhile, Satan departed with the prized poetic mead, carrying with him the legacy of Kvasir's wisdom and the dwarf's tale of comeuppance. And so, amidst the echoes of their own folly, Fjalar and Galar learned the true cost of their misdeeds, a lesson etched in the annals of myth and memory. In Asgard, Odin listened intently as his ravens recounted the tale of Satan's coveted mead of poetry, known by various names across the realms. Determined to possess this magical brew, Odin prepared for a journey into the world beyond. Requesting the creation of 3 massive vats, Odin gathered the whetstone and the powerful ogre Rati, essential tools for his mysterious quest. With a sense of purpose, he departed Asgard, leaving the gods to speculate on his intentions. Meanwhile, Satan's daughter, Gunnlod, safeguarded the poetic mead within the mountain stronghold of Nidbjörg. Rather than confront her directly, Odin sought out Satang's brother, Bogi, who oversaw vast farmlands teeming with giant workers. Observing Bogi's giants laboring with seemingly dull sights, Odin casually engaged them in conversation, questioning why their master provided such inadequate tools. Unfazed, the giants asserted the sharpness of their blades, unaware of the intrigue brewing beneath Odin's probing inquiries. Odin, disguised as Bolverker, demonstrated the power of his sharpened blade to Bogi's giant slaves, transforming their scythes into little instruments with a single stroke of his whetstone. As the giants marveled at their newfound cutting prowess, Odin devised a deadly test to claim the whetstone's ownership. Tossing the whetstone into the air, Odin goaded the giants into a fatal scramble. Ignoring the dangers of their razor-sharp scythes, the slaves leaped and reached for the stone, their reckless pursuit ending in a spray of crimson as each fell victim to the little edges they wielded. Undeterred by the gruesome outcome, Odin calmly retrieved the whetstone, leaving a field strewn with fallen giants in his wake. Presenting himself to Bogi, Odin sought shelter for the night under his guise as Bolverker, boasting of his unparalleled strength and willingness to labor tirelessly. Unaware of the true identity of his enigmatic quest, Bogi welcomed Bolverker into his hall, oblivious to the brewing intrigue and Odin's ultimate quest for the elusive poetic Mead, guarded by Satan's daughter within the mountain stronghold. Thus, Odin's cunning machinations set the stage for a daring gambit against formidable odds in pursuit of divine knowledge and power. Odin, disguised as Bolverker, struck a deal with Bogi. Taking up the monumental task of 9 servants, Odin toiled relentlessly, working the fields with unmatched vigor and efficiency. With each passing day, the land flourished under his care, yielding bountiful harvests and thriving livestock. Impressed by Bolverker's unmatched work ethic and the promise of a prosperous season, Bogi agreed to accompany Odin to Satan's domain, determined to fulfill his part of the bargain. Together they embarked on a journey to seek out the coveted poetic Mead, guarded by Bogi's brother. As they traversed the realms, Odin's true intentions remained veiled, his determination unwavering in his pursuit of the mystical elixir that held the key to divine inspiration. Amidst the trials of labor and loyalty, Odin's quest for Satan's Mead set the stage for a daring confrontation and a fateful reckoning in the heart of a giant country. Bolverker, cunning as ever, enlisted Bogi's aid in a scheme to outwit Satan and access the coveted mead of poetry guarded by Gunnlod within Nidbjörg, the beating mountain. Together they scaled the treacherous slopes until reaching a high altitude, where the echoes of a haunting voice seemed to emanate from within the very rocks. Identifying the source as Gunnlod's distant song, Bolverker hatched a plan, unveiling the ogre Rati from his leather pouch. Urging Bogin to utilize his immense strength, Bolverker persuaded the giant to bore into the mountainside, aiming to breach the fortress where the precious mead was concealed. As Bogi tirelessly twisted the ogre, gradually piercing the mountain's facade, Bolverker patiently awaited their breakthrough. With each rotation, the rock yielded to the relentless force until, at last, a pathway was forged into the heart of Nidbjörg. Peering into the newly formed aperture, Bolverker discerned the promise of success amidst the dimming light. Encouraging Bogi to persist, they persisted until the drill penetrated the inner sanctum. With the mountain breached and the path unveiled, Odin and Bogi stood poised on the threshold of Gunnlod's vigil. Together they prepared to confront the formidable guardian and seize the elusive mead that held the promise of divine inspiration and mastery over poetry itself. Gunnlod considered Bolverker's plea, her resolve unwavering in the wake of his persuasive words and tender affections. Despite her duty as guardian of the mead, she found herself drawn to Bolverker's charm and earnest admiration. "You ask for a sip so small no one would know," Bolverker pleaded. "Let me show you how much you mean to me." In their intimate embrace, Bolverker's lament for his poetic inadequacy tugged at Gunnlod's heartstrings. She, too, longed for his words to immortalize her beauty in verse, transcending the fleeting moments of their clandestine union. Moved by their shared passion and desire, Gunnlod relented, "A sip from both the poetry's vessel to inspire your song of my lips. It could weave a tale of our love to echo through eternity." With a tender sigh, Bolverker clasped her hand. "Allow me this sip, and I'll etch a sonnet of your lips upon the stars." Gunnlod hesitated, torn between duty and desire, yet in Bolverker's ardent gaze she glimpsed the reflection of her own longing. With a silent nod, she resolved to grant him the smallest measure of the mead. Guiding Bolverker to the vats, Gunnlod unlocked the chamber where Son and Bodn lay, their contest shimmering with the promise of inspiration. As Bolverker savored the tiniest sip, the Mead ignited his soul, infusing him with the power of the verse. Reveling in the newfound creativity bestowed upon him, Bolverkr extolled Gunnlod's lips in a symphony of words, crafting an ode that resonated with the timeless allure of their love. Amidst the harsh cavern, their whispered promises lingered, intertwined with the essence of poetry that bound them together, a testament to the transformative magic of Suttung's Mead and the enduring bond between Bolverkr and Gunnlod, guardian of the divine brew. As they stood before the vats and kettle, Gunnlod's heart wrestled with the weight of her duty and the depths of her affection of Bolverkr. She hesitated, knowing the consequences of yielding more of the precious mead, yet swayed by Bolverkr's heartless entreaties. Just the tiniest of sips, Gunnlod insisted, her voice tinged with both longing and caution, for 3 poems about mead that will echo down through the ages. Bolverkr's grin in the darkness betrayed a hidden agenda, his desire for the elixir burning brightly beneath the surface. Gunnlod, enamored yet wary, unlocked the door of the kettle, allowing the intoxicating aroma of the mead of poetry to envelop them. In that charged moment, Bolverkr's facade faltered. If Gunnlod had looked closely, she might have sensed the shift in his demeanor, the hunger for creative mastery veiled behind his tender affections. With deft hands, Bolverkr seized the opportunity, feigning compliance as he prepared to claim his prize. "Of course, my darling," he murmured, concealing his true intent behind a facade of devotion. Gunnlod, captivated by the prospect of immortalized adoration, gazed into Bolverkr's eyes, unaware of the duplicity concealed within. As Bolverkr readied himself to savor the forbidden nectar, a fleeting shadow of uncertainty crossed his countenance. In that cavern of secrets and whispered desires, fate hung in the balance, poised by the shape of the consequences of their clandestine exchange. The conclusion of the story unveils Odin's daring and unorthodox methods to secure the mead of poetry. After betraying Gunnlod and consuming the entire contents of the vats and kettle, Odin faced a swift retribution. Gunnlod, realizing the deception, confronted Odin, unleashing her strength and fury upon him. However, Odin, ever resourceful, transformed into a mighty eagle, escaping her wrath and sealing her within the mountain stronghold. As Odin soared through the skies, carrying the essence of the mead within him, Gunnlod's anguished cries echoed to the dawn. Suttung, roused from slumber, assumed eagle form, pursuing Odin with relentless determination. The skies trembled with the thunderous flight of the 2 eagles, their pursuit akin to a tempest sweeping across the heavens. Meanwhile, in Asgard, Thor, sensing the imminent arrival of Odin, prepared a courtyard with the 3 massive vats. The gods of Asgard witnessed a dramatic aerial chase, the eagles hurtling towards them with incredible speed. As Odin approached the hall in eagle form, he unleashed a remarkable display of divine prowess. He spewed forth the mead from his beak, filling the waiting vats with the precious liquid, Odin's gift to the world. This act marked the inception of poetic inspiration, granting those touched by its essence the ability to weave magic with words. In a moment of desperation during the pursuit, Odin, in eagle form, resorted to a crude tactic. He expelled a splattery, foul-smelling spray of mead from his behind, striking Suttung and diverting the giant's focus. This comical yet audacious maneuver solidifies Odin's unyielding determination to safeguard the mead and his unconventional methods to achieve his goal. The mead that came out of Odin's ass became associated with bad poetry, serving as a humorous yet pointed reminder of Odin's ingenuity and the transformative power of poetic inspiration. And there you have it, fellow lore lovers. If you enjoyed this journey through Norse mythology, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Lion Drag for more captivating stories and discussions. Join our Discord community to share your thoughts and dive deeper into the lore. Until next time, keep exploring the realms of myth and legend. Skål!